What's up, everybody? Adam Swerdlow back with you here. I'm going to follow up my last video on long-term care with this video on long-term disability. So quick disclaimer, these are just examples. Obviously, when you get into your client's situation, the numbers will change. This is just a concept to make sure that you understand how important this product is when doing any sort of financial planning. So I'm going to focus on those CFPs and those fee-only advisors. If you're not talking about long-term disability insurance with your clients, you're doing them a disservice. So let's take a look at this example. So everybody has a place where they live, right? We're going to use an example where we're going to look at people who own a house. But even if you rent a house, you're paying something towards renter's insurance. At least you should be, just to protect the things that are in your house, from damage and them being stolen, right? So we're going to assume that it's a $500,000 asset, and we pay $2,400 a year to protect a $500,000 asset. Okay, stay with me here. Then we have a car. Yours might look better than this. Yours might look worse than this. But just an example here. And let's say it's a $50,000 asset. So again, these numbers are going to change depending on where you're at in the country. Just wanted you to get the concept. So $50,000 asset, maybe we're paying $1,500 a year to insure it. Now, if you have a worse driving record, obviously you might pay more. If you have a really, really nice car, you might pay more than that. And if you don't have a nice car, you might pay less than that. But let's just roll with these numbers for now, right? And then you've got you as an individual, right? You're the one that generates the income that pays for the other things, like the car, like the house, the things you love to do. So if you're going to work the next 30 years and you're going to earn average $100,000 a year from now until the next 30 years. That's not counting raises. That's not counting inflation. That's not counting crazy bonuses or payouts from any equity that you may have in companies, right? The next 30 years, you'll earn $3 million. Okay, that number could be lower. That number could be higher. But the point is that that's the number that pays for the house, that pays for the car, right? And you cannot be able to do any of that stuff or maintain your lifestyle without protecting your income if you get hurt, right? Here, I'm going to throw out a statistic. I'm sure I'm going to get some people calling me out about it. 1 in 4 people will get disabled, whether it be partially or totally, between now and the age of 65, obviously if you're under 65. So check that stat on me, right? So why are you not protecting your most valuable asset? Great question. So let's come, the most common objection that I get is, but I have long-term disability through my employer. And my response to that is, yeah, that's great. But let's take a look at why it's not great in its entirety, right? So here's a typical employer plan. It covers 60% of your base salary up to a maximum of $10,000 a month, and it's taxable. So if you receive the benefits, you're going to get taxed on it, okay? Again, an example. It will change. People have better benefits. People have worse benefits, right? Let's take a look at some other commonalities in employer plans. It's not going to cover your bonus or your commissions or any of your incentive comp. So if that's a significant portion of your compensation, it's usually not covered, right? We normally see that people live off their base salary and then save their bonuses or their commissions. So imagine not being able to get that, okay? Other restrictions, there's no partial disability. So if you lose some time from work, but you're not totally disabled, right? This won't even pay, right? So there's no partial disability benefit. It's not your own occupation. So a lot of you have special jobs that you go to school for a long time for, and there's a lot of training that goes into it. A lot of these group disability programs will not protect your actual occupation. It will protect you working, but not your actual occupation. There's no inflation. So we know that the dollar today is not a dollar tomorrow. We want to make sure that if we're on claim for a long period of time, this benefit can keep up with inflation. It's also offset by state disability programs. So every state has a disability program that you have to apply to if you become disabled. And here, the benefit you get from your employer will get diminished by what you receive from the state. Also, it's not portable. So if you leave your employer, it doesn't go with you, and you have to start all over again, right? Getting these things are based off of your age and your health. So if you lose age is age, but if you lose the ability from a health standpoint to qualify and you move employers, you're not going to have that insurance anymore. Okay, so let's look at a typical example, right? $75,000 salary, $25,000 bonus, which is paid annually. Okay, typical take-home pay after tax and insurance and 401k is $4,800. Again, using round numbers, and it may be less or more depending on what you contribute towards those benefits. Okay, if we look at it, right, the employer plan pays on $37.50 before tax, right? Because the employer pays for it, it's going to get taxed, right? So that's going to be $2,800. So you're used to receiving $4,800 a month. Now you're receiving $2,800 a month. That's a $2,000 difference per month. That can be detrimental to your family's savings and just lifestyle in general, right? And it doesn't cover your bonus. We mentioned before, bonuses, commissions, incentive comp, not covered by this plan, right? And that's what you use for your long-term savings, your big purchases, things like that, right? So the question is here, can you maintain your lifestyle? If you go out, right, can you maintain your lifestyle? The typical family has one spouse that works, one spouse that stays home and takes care of the kids. If that's what you guys, the typical family that you come into contact with, right? Can you imagine if the one wage earner or the one breadwinner goes down? In this instance, right, you're going to be receiving $2,000 less per month. Are you going to be able to maintain your lifestyle with that? So, what is the surviving spouse? What are their options, right? They can go back to work and try to make as much money as you are making, or they can just leave you. We hope that doesn't happen, but why do we even have to deal with those situations? And honestly, to cover this gap of coverage is really inexpensive. It could be between $50 and $100 a month. Now, if you're making $500,000 a year, you have more to protect, right? And the premium will be more. However, you're also making more money, so you can afford to pay for it. So we need to protect the engine that drives the bus. It's you. And I'll leave you with this. We always talk about, and I used to say this all the time, if you've got a machine in your basement that prints out dollar bills, would you buy insurance on it? Well, of course you would. Guess what? That machine is you. Protect yourself. You don't know what's going to go on with you. You don't know, you could live the safest life possible, right? And right now, we're going through a pandemic. You have no control over the fact that you get it. You could be hyper vigilant and still get it. So why wouldn't you protect your most valuable asset, which pays for everything? If you need more help, you have any more questions, feel free to hit me up. What's up, everybody? Adam Swerdlow here with you. We'll see you again soon.